Hey folks, Dan Good welcoming you to the Press of Atlantic City's 2009 election special. During this special, we're going to analyze the state and local races and find out what this election means for southern New Jersey. We're sitting in the press newsroom at the microfilm reader, taking a look through the archives. Here it is, November 2005. That's the last time New Jersey held a governor's election. That year, Jon Corzine was the winner. But Corzine faces some stiff competition on his road to re-election. Here's a look at this year's three strongest challengers for governor.
Priority number one is the economy. Priority number two is the economy. Priority number three.
This is Jon Corzine, New Jersey's 54th governor. He's trying to get re-elected to another four-year term. Here's the Democrat appearing last month before the Press of Atlantic City's editorial board.
I believe in the franchise that we have in Atlantic City.
Corzine is best known for his financial background. He's the former CEO of the banking and securities firm Goldman Sachs. He's also known for this near-fatal Garden State Parkway accident in 2007. He suffered dozens of broken bones and later filmed this PSA to encourage seatbelt safety.
I have to live with my mistake. You don't. Buckle up.
Corzine grew up on a farm in Illinois. He later went to college and served in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve. After working in finance for 2 decades, he left Goldman Sachs and started a career in politics. In 2000, he was elected to the U.S. Senate, spending tens of millions of dollars of his own money on his campaign. He served in the Senate until becoming New Jersey's governor. This time around, Corzine has been criticized for running a dirty campaign and poking fun at his challenger's weight.
If you had to do it over again, would you have used a different phrase than throw his weight around to make the same point?
As opposed to having that discussion divert away from the abuse of power in that office. I think that's probably a good idea.
Corzine hopes his financial background can help him balance the budget, create new jobs, and lead New Jersey out of the recession.
We need a different kind of leader to take on the entrenched interests and the power brokers who have dominated Trenton for far too long.
In order for Corzine to win again, he'll have to beat this man, Christie. Christie, a Republican, is the former U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey. Here's Christie appearing in one of the gubernatorial debates.
Do you believe that if we continue the same policies that we will get a different result?
Christie grew up in Livingston, Essex County, went to college and law school and passed the bar, becoming a lawyer. Christie entered politics 15 years ago as an elected freeholder in Morris County. In 2001, he was nominated by President Bush to become a U.S. attorney. As attorney, he was known for exposing corruption.
Brought corrupt public officials to justice, 130 jailed.
Here's Christie in February announcing his run for governor.
I stand at this moment of challenge and opportunity, and I enthusiastically declare my candidacy for governor of the state of New Jersey.
So far, Christie's faced criticism for having the appearance of a partisan slant during his attorney days, as well as a vague fiscal policy.
And I got to buy you a calculator, Mr. Christie, because your numbers don't add up. They never add up.
But 9 months after announcing his candidacy, Christie is running neck and neck in the governor's race. If elected, he hopes to bring accountability and reform to state government.
People all over New Jersey are looking for an alternative, looking for somebody different.
Let's not forget about this man, Chris Daggett, the independent candidate for governor. Here's Daggett speaking in one of the gubernatorial debates.
It's never wrong to vote for the right person.
Daggett was born in Orange, Essex County and grew up in Linwood, Atlantic County. He's worked for Republican governor's candidates in 1977 and 1981 and has held various public service jobs, like regional administrator of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
I know the potential of public-private partnerships, and I know how to make them work.
While Daggett, a former Republican, doesn't have the party backing of his challengers, that hasn't stopped them from poking fun at Corzine and Christie in a popular TV ad.
Someone doesn't fix this right now, people going to jail. Jail, I said, jail!
Daggett shined in gubernatorial debates and even pulled an endorsement from the state's biggest newspaper.
Star-Ledger endorsed me on Sunday with a ringing endorsement, but more importantly, a ringing indictment of the two-party system in this state because it's broken.
If elected, Daggett hopes to shed light on environmental issues. He's been commended for his ideas about property tax relief.
In his plan, Daggett called for expanding the state sales tax, a move designed to reduce reliance on other levies and, he says, help cut property taxes to all homeowners by 25%.
But no one's sure what impact it'll have on Election Day. And opponents say he could swing the election one way or the other. For more insight into the governor's race and how Jon Corzine overcame a double-digit deficit, we head to Atlantic City to chat with political reporter Juliet Fletcher. She's been following the candidates on the campaign trail for 3 months. So we're in Atlantic City, right in front of Boardwalk Hall, and want to find out how these candidates would impact southern New Jersey if they were elected governor.
Well, southern New Jersey has become a topic of conversation among the candidates. They have spent a lot of time talking about South Jersey while in North Jersey, while in Central Jersey. They haven't necessarily been here talking about the problems that we have here. They've been talking about Atlantic City, gambling, whether to bring gambling elsewhere in the state, and they've also been talking about places like Camden, which became an example of educational failure.
Chris Christie's up 10 plus points in the polls in August, and something changes.
Right.
Let's talk about how Corzine was able to erase a 10-point deficit in 2.5 months.
Well, Corzine owes Barack Obama dinner because in August we understand that the White House actually was looking at the numbers, like I said, one of the only competitive races happening in this cycle, and they saw it was not going the way they wanted it to go. Since then, they really tried to carve out some very clear points for Corzine's campaign to make. Corzine started hitting Christie very, very hard on a health policy that Christie had mooted, which would basically offer mandate-free health policies for things like mammograms.
New Jersey has a large number of mandates that are required to be covered in every health insurance policy that the state, any company in the state writes. A lot of those services are ones that would not be needed by your daughter, more likely than not.
My cancer was originally discovered by a mammogram. The mandate-free plan opens the door for all kinds of abuses.
My mom was a breast cancer survivor. Her life was saved because she got a mammogram.
The reality is that this would still be a policy that somebody could choose to buy or not buy. You can always increase your coverage, decrease your coverage, and it was a little bit simplified in order to make a political point by the Corzine campaign. So that's where we suddenly found ourselves talking about mammograms like they were a political hot potato, and Christie really struggled to get out from underneath that.
One of the interesting things about this race has been the fact that you have an independent candidate in the mix of things.
Right.
Talk about the party backing versus independent and really what that means for New Jersey's voting landscape.
You've actually got more registered independents than you have registered for either other party. So they are the middle, they are the battleground. And in any election, you've got candidates going after their attention, trying to find the issues that matter to them. And that's usually what happens, is there's sort of a tug of, backwards and forwards between the Democrat and the Republican, who try and appear moderate in sort of the middle and appeal to that middle base. In this race, we had Chris Daggett arrive. There's no denying that Daggett changed the race. There's no denying that Daggett changed what the race has been about for New Jersey. We got into it's been a better race in many ways for the presence of Daggett.
We also sat down with Sharon Shulman to talk about the governor's race. She's the executive director of the William J. Hughes Center for Public Policy at Richard Stockton College. Sharon has been a part of elections for about 20 years.
Regardless of what all of our polls say, that any of us know for sure what's going to happen on Election Day.
Coming up, what frustrates Sharon the most about this governor's race? When the Press of Atlantic City's 2009 election special continues.